there is a fundamental conflict in your system. The first bit, you are all here as a successful product of millions and millions and million years of evolution. There are some of those who are on the dead end of the gene tray and they've fallen off, right? Even humans, we're not just talking about dodo birds here, but even humans. In my family, Jewish, probably obviously to some, I had a whole Polish family. The family name used to be Garibalski. They said, oh, this Hitler guy, he won't really be that much of a problem. The whole town's worth of Jews were shipped out to camps. They fell off the gene tree. Yeah? You are here because you made it. And you made it because your parents made it. And your parents made it because their parents made it. And how did they make it? Doing all the strategies they did, including the things that we think of as really stupid today. Whatever your system is doing, that it's really good at doing, yeah, because every problem was once a solution, right? Every problem was once a solution. Got a good intention in there. Whatever you did yesterday, made it through to today, you survived. Good enough for me, says the unconscious mind. Well done. Let's do more of that. And if that, unfortunately, is alcoholism, smoking, other addictive things, rageaholic, choosing the wrong people, well, you know what? It got me from yesterday to today, so let's keep on doing it. So that's one part of the tension of it. We're completely successful at having survived from yesterday to today down the millions of years, and this thing is falling out. There we go. Apparently so. But it's not a problem. And that's the other bit. That's the other bit. You don't have any problems. You just think you do. Okay. This is leveraging off of some of what Robert was saying earlier and some of the threads that have been coming through as well. What Anna said earlier, she quoted me as saying, not even pain can hurt you. Not even pain can hurt you. What the fuck does that mean? Right? I'm going to tell you, this is the other part of it. I don't draw very well, so you'll have to use your imagination and your beautiful metaphorical mind. That's meant to be a diamond. Your diamond self. You ever have the experience of letting go of a problem? Like, you know when you lose a headache and you're just like, oh, was the headache ever really there? There's something seamless about recovery. There's something that you recognize as intact. And by the way, if you're a survivor of something, you still have charge, please go and work on it more. You haven't survived anything. You're already okay. Already there. 20 years I was in psychotherapy, and every time I'd look back every once in a while, and I thought, oh yeah, I used to have that problem. I don't quite have that problem anymore. Still got all these things, but don't quite have those things anymore. It was seamless. There was a little breadcrumbs on the trail to my wholeness and intactness and integrity that we all already have. But we can get lost. There's layers of dirt. All those accumulated things that happen hundreds of thousands of times, or just once, that we make into 100,000 times in our recreations. Memories out of which we create strategies so that we can survive until tomorrow. This is where we can get lost. And although the saying goes lost and found, it's not really about finding. It's just about allowing. You're already there. You've already got everything you need. All your resources, all your joy. Not only, if someone is depressed, not only are they doing something really well to be depressed, it takes a lot more work to be depressed than it takes to be happy. A lot more work. A lot more work. And it seems worth it because get lost in the stride. I've got to do this because I've got to survive, because, this is my identity, which is the segue to the next part of the presentation. Because, oh, did I put the thingy down? There it is. We get invested in our strategies. We get lost in our strategies. It's not who we are, but, you know, it seems real because we feel it kind of thing. If you only follow the EFT basic recipe regularly, guaranteed you will get stuck. But before I go on to discuss the slide, just to say goodbye to the first part here, this is the container for all EFT work, all energy psychology work that I do. Anyone who comes to me, I know they're already whole, they're just lost in thinking they have a problem. They don't, they just think they have a problem, and then give themselves more problems in thinking about strategies to address the problems that they've made up for themselves. You know anyone like that? It's all of us. We all do it. Yeah? EFT, of course, is an art, like any other modality. You have to really be able to work it and make it fit whoever you're working with, including yourself. And I got really frustrated with the times that I was bumping up against myself. When I first found EFT, I was a trained academic, and so I took it very procedurally and scientifically, and I had this color-coded Excel chart, I kid you not, and I listed everything, and then if I tapped on it and it was gone, it was green, and if it was partway gone, it was orange, and everything I hadn't worked on was red. And after a while, like, you know, I got down it a bit, and I realized that the rest of it was just hitting things. Oh, yeah, that's green already, that's green already. Yeah. In that journey and working with my clients over the past however many years, and through all the work I've done in trauma over the past 20-odd years, I distilled out 54 of the different ways we get lost. We get invested in our strategies, and we think the strategies are real. Isn't that funny? They're on sale outside in break as well, and some people have found them extraordinarily useful in aiding their practice, your practice. The terminology, polarity, psychological reversals are really when the system is organized against change. This is a strategy at work that got me from yesterday. Today, what's your problem? Leave me alone here already, kind of thing, yeah? Psychological reversible can be considered kind of like a parts issue. Like someone wants to quit smoking, but then another part of them doesn't want to quit smoking, and it generates all the things that keep them smoking and reaching for the cigarette, even then they know half of smokers die of smoking-related illnesses, the other half get sick. The solutions we come up with to the problems we invent are often not in our best interests. To be sure. They're worth challenging, they're worth tackling and taking on. Gary Craig signed a non-disclosure agreement with Roger Callahan. I didn't. So out of the 54 that I've distilled for you, I've picked out the ones specifically from TFT. Who here is TFT trained, by the way? Okay, so some of this won't be new to you, but nevertheless, let's see what we can do for you. Okay, a caveat. If you've got a client who's new to it, people often have to be introduced to the concept of reversals, because it's like, of course I want to be rid of the problem. But some of them doesn't. There was the best example of this that I use, feel free to use this if you like. I had two people on my caseload. One was a suburban housewife, and the other one was an urbanite, very much in the gay scene, a lesbian. And we found a belief in the suburban housewife that in order for her to be happy, she needed to be a really kind of like raging lesbian. And then the lesbian woman found a belief that for her, in order to be happy, she had to be a suburban housewife. It's just a belief. You are making it up. We're always making it up. The only thing that's going to make you happy is being happy, living from here. All this stuff is just bullshit. It just gets in the way, yeah? So all this stuff we're talking about is just different ways we're invested in keeping the shit that gets in the way of the ordinary happiness that's already there for you every second of your day and night, your whole life, even before you were born. Any questions so far? Cool. When you get into the play of it, you often find that these reversals, investments, resistances are very much tied to one another. It's really fun to play with, and we're going to have a play with it later. The first one I want to talk to you about is wanting. Like I was talking to you about the smoker that wants to be free. Actually, before I get into this, there's something really funny I want to share with you. And it's just really kind of, it's got a Latin name. It's called de minimis explanations. First came up in 1994, this fellow named Perrow, P-E-R-R-O-W. And basically, what he came up with is he realized that people will make themselves believe anything they want. So there was a group of scientists in CERN, atomic physicists. They went hiking one day, mountaineers, have really experienced, loads of kit, and they got lost, but didn't know they were lost and couldn't believe they were lost. So then when they came across a bay that was developed as opposed to the bay near the CERN Center that was empty and pristine, they said, oh, wow, they put the bay up in a day. De minimis explanations means that your unconscious, subconscious, metaphorical mind can make you believe fucking anything. Absolutely anything, no matter how stupid or ridiculous or improbable. People used to believe the world was flat. Now we believe it's a sphere spinning in air, spinning around the sun, spinning around the center of a galaxy that might have a black hole in the middle. Who knows what we'll believe in 200 years? Believe anything, absolutely anything. We'll even believe that we don't want to stop smoking. That's not my mobile. Sometimes people can have identity reversal, so invested in their stuff. I'm depressed, I had this bad childhood, it's who I am my trauma. Believe fucking anything. No, absolutely not. The way to incorporate this, I did make handouts with all this listed, but unfortunately, that was the moment my toner decided it would conk out. So, sorry guys, I can email it to all of you, I can have Fiona email it to all, so these will all be listed in the language. For the wanting, the way to tap on it is, by the way, okay, so let's do another by the way. Write down something that you've been a bit stuck on. Or at least that you've had the experience of being stuck on, because you're never stuck in anything. You're only having the experience of it and creating it for yourself based on your investments. You write down something, and if you don't know what it is, then ask your unconscious mind to send up something for you, or keep under wraps for you, something that would be really great to release, but you've got some investments in. It could be a double blind. You don't even have to know what it is. Give it a code name, a code letter, code number, whatever. Doesn't have to be anything big. Okay? Let's everybody get that written down or known in your head. Okay? So with wanting, you tap on the side of your hand or your sore points. Even though I do not want to be free of, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay? Next, identity. You can pause in your tapping. Identity. The same kind of stuff. Their very identity, your existence is unthinkable. They can't even have the possibility of having an identity without it. And you can change all things, like you can make this fancy. It says, even though I do not know who I am without, you can change this to be kind of fancy. Even though I am totally closed or dead to the possibility of knowing who I am without, I am open to the possibility of the possibility of the possibility of knowing who I am without. Just play with it. There are no formulas here, only suggestions and pointers. Next, Gary Craig had to take safety out, unfortunately, which is such a massive one that comes up in trauma work. Not safe to be free of it. Often what people will convince themselves of is they have to keep some trauma or distress over trauma because the trauma and distress is linked to their hypervigilance alert system, so they need to hold on to it to stay safe. Otherwise, how can they protect themselves? So even though, and if you ever do this with yourself or clients, say it with your heart. Even though I am not safe. Don't say, even though I'm not safe without that. Even though I am not safe without this, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Or at least I'm open to the possibility of one day loving and accepting myself even though that's impossible right now. Play. Permission. This is often, abuse is so subtle. Traumas are so subtle. And parental control and control that comes out of the experience of trauma is so subtle. There are two sets of things. You may already know this, but it bears saying out loud. With trauma, there are two sets of things to clear. One is the distress and the trauma of the event. The second is the edifice of beliefs that the distress and the strategies about avoiding it again have built up inside. Yeah? So two sets of things. People will often experience abuse as a way, well, I am not allowed, and that generalization get really huge, including I'm not allowed to let go of distress. So, even though I do not have permission to release, you can say I deeply, completely love and accept myself. I tend to more use the second phrase about choice. I choose now. Fuck the abuser, man. I'm choosing right now to give myself permission to let this go. I know I'm really vulgar. You can get used to that. I grew up in a truck stop in New Jersey as part of my experience. You could take the girl out of New Jersey, but you can't, you know, yeah, but you can't take New Jersey out of the girl. That's it. I choose to grant myself permission now, right now, because I do deserve it. I really do, and I always did. I always did. Those were lies that I got told. I believe lies about myself. I can stop that now. I can change that, and I choose to. Safety is where a lot of my clients get stuck. It's a real big one. Deserving. Here's another really massive one, because deserving is about shame. Guilt is about something you do. Shame is about something about who you are. And anything that takes you away from living from here is a lie about you. Anything. So the concept that you actually don't deserve to be free of something, poppycock. And of course, the person that believes it is the person who thinks they don't deserve. There may be something that you think you don't deserve to be free of. Whatever that may be inside of you, side of your hand, even though I fooled myself. I believe those lies, and I fooled myself into thinking that I don't deserve to be free of. I choose to know now fully that I do fully deserve to be free of this. Because I say so. Because I deeply and completely love and accept myself. The other thing is that people can have shame about having shame. And it's a little bit like, you know, when you have problems and then you make your own problems and then you create strategies to deal with the problems and then you have problems out of that, and it's like the life of Walter Mitty. And it's all so innocent. There is nobody here in this room who has ever walked the earth, ever, that truly wants to feel mutilated inside. Nobody. Nobody. But they may create that experience for themselves because that's better, for instance, than dying or thinking that, you know, well, that keeps me safe, so I'll keep that going inside of me. Shame is very innocent, very innocent. Let me see. Yeah, I got time to talk about the moral defense. Fairbanks, moral defense. When children are amazing egotists, because there's a lot that isn't formed yet, including the whole thing about cause and effect is a really magical world that we all live in, but children particularly. And a lot of children will say, well, it happened because I did it. It was my fault. That means I'm bad. That conjoins with the fact that, you know what, children in Peru digging through dumps notwithstanding, generally speaking, if a 2 or 3 or 4-year-old doesn't have an adult around them to take care of them, the kid's going to die. That hanging around with the big person that at least brings the food home is a survival strategy. But to make that emotionally possible with the complexity of all the wonderful beingness that we are, we've got to do a, what's it called, like a quick switch on ourselves. We take in the badness of the abusers, and we make them good and us bad so that we can tolerate being in that situation for just another day. And we set up the habit of doing that for just another day. And then we set up the habit, and then we're stuck with it, and then we take it with us. It was really innocent. It's incredibly innocent. And it is with immense compassion that we bring shame to people's attention as the dirt that we've put on ourselves to try to survive. We don't need that anymore. We never did. We just thought we did. By the way, if there are any questions you have during this, please raise your hand. I'd rather you ask it when it comes to you. So even though I have fooled myself into thinking that I don't deserve to be free of this, I release myself from this touchingly innocent belief that I don't deserve to be free of this. And I open myself to deeply and completely loving and accepting myself. The next one's a parts issue. Thinking, how much do I tell you about parts? I'll pull back on the doctorate in psychology. I've got too much information to cram in. Whoever has ever been on a diet, and yeah, me too. I used to weigh 4.5 stone more, actually. It's like, the burger or the salad, the burger or the salad, the burger or the salad. Different areas of you have different agendas. All of those agendas are innocent and well-intentioned. That's all. You're just in some kind of internal disagreement. It happens to everybody. It's part of the human experience. It doesn't have to be dissociative identity issues. Yeah? So even though there is some stuff here that gets a bit woo-woo, just go with it. There's various kind of systems feeding into the structure of this one. Even though not every part, layer, level, dimension, time, or phase of me wishes to be free of, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Or I choose to allow the system of me to come completely into congruence and alignment with me being free of. You can say it out loud or to yourself. What do you guys want to do? Out loud? The next one we'll do. Isolated from the system. We're going back to parts again. By the way, another by the way, with parts. With the woo-woo stuff here, it doesn't matter that it's woo-woo. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. There's something called the Edic position. And the Edic position is a fancy word for being intellectually humble. You know what? I can't prove there's God, angel, devil, aliens, or not. Just don't know. But I do know, when I work with it as if it were true, I can organize this, so even though, for instance, there aren't any sharks in Oklahoma, right? There's something important that my subconscious mind has kicked up for me to clear here. Just go with the metaphor. It may be true, but it's at least a metaphor. The conscious mind can process at most. Hold on a second.
And I have two parts, one that wants to give up smoking, one that doesn't want to give up smoking. What's interesting when you play with NLP and talk to these two parts, both of them are there to protect you. They're both doing the same thing, but until you explain it to each other, they won't come together and do anything about it. So Absolutely. I love the way that this integrates all of that together. So thank you.
Thank you. It's not that you have to get them to talk to each other in a conscious way, though. Yes. The conscious mind can process about 9 bits of information per second. Let's even you see someone like totally like in the zone, and you're like flying through whatever task you're doing, 9 bits a second. The subconscious mind, 40 million bits per second. If we had to consciously bring to mind all the traumas and dramas and problems we had, we'd have to live another billion years to clear out the first 7. Yeah? It's just not going to work. So we have to be able to leverage off of metaphor, to leverage off of gathering in order to make this work as effectively and as quickly as possible. Sometimes what happens with trauma is that it's so massive and so huge that parts of us get blasted away into isolation, curled up and protected in a pearl of trauma, frozen until rediscovered by whatever technique or modality you choose to use to access this wonderful part of you that's been doing its best as part of the whole system of protecting you. It's a bit like taking a test and not having access to some of the last few questions. You're just not going to get the score you want. You really need to have everybody on board in your little parts party to be making it work. So, out loud, even though some parts of me, relevant for releasing this, do not have access to this healing, I choose to grant access now. Because I'm so utterly wonderful and fabulous. Well done. Two more. This is also from TFT as well as from other systems. Yeah? Ancestors can be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be your grandparents, it could be people you've never met and have never even heard of. For me, I mentioned earlier, I used to be 4.5 stone heavier. I was fat. I was like obese, medically diagnosable as obese. And it was only when I gave up, realizing I was holding on to all that fat so I can get my mother's approval so we can connect somewhere, that I could start letting the weight go. And so, even though I do not know how to connect to my ancestors, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I want to whoosh through the next two so that let's whoosh through this last one so that we can do a little bit of a demo. Letting go of that would make that okay. It's as if there's a belief that letting go of distress and trauma would contort the moral fabric of the universe. For instance, in my case, that it would be okay to torture children. I was stuck with that one for a while. It was just a belief. It was just a thought. But because I had that belief and thought, there was no way I was going to let go of that stuff because that stuff was wrong. So you do a paragraph, tap your way through it. This is one way of doing it, but you work your way through it. So whatever abuse it was, whatever trauma there was, read out loud with me, guys. Come on. What happened was wrong. It will never be okay. Never. And it is still okay for me to let go. Justice has not been served. My suffering does not serve justice. I may as well let go of this suffering because this does not serve justice anyway. And my letting go does not make what happened okay. The moral fabric of the universe remains intact when I let go. You could do a whole session on this one. But let me see, it's this one, isn't it? Yeah. What I want to do is, how much time have I got? Awesome. Jackie, come on down.
It's very easy.
A little bit of Schadenfreude there. Okay, so what we're going to do with Jackie, we've arranged it. We're going to do a double blind, like I was saying earlier at the beginning, that we don't know whatever floating around in here in the Jaws themes of her mind to come up with, to release, that we know from down here, from the deepest inner wisdom of you, is in your best interest to clear out. And so I'm not teaching muscle testing now, but we're going to use muscle testing to demonstrate the release of the resistances, reversals, investments, whatever. Okay.
It's falling off. Is that okay? Right.
Okay. So if you could put your arm out to the side. Okay. Or the parapet. Okay. So I've asked you to do that. So first we're going to check for congruence with this stuff. So if you could put this other hand on the top of your head. Okay. Hold. Okay. And then flip your hand up. Hold. Oh, yep. Hold. Okay. Enough of a difference. That's checking for polarity, general disorganization issues, just to let you know, but we're not going to go into that. Okay. Next. 2 plus 2 is 4. Hold. And 2 plus 2 is 5. Hold. Okay. Enough of a difference. Yeah. Okay. So next we're going to ask, my subconscious mind has already generated something for me to release investments, reversals, whatever on now. Hold. Okay? What do you want to call it? It. It is. Okay. I want to be free of it. Hold. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, next. I use them a lot, so I've got the list memorized. I do them in the same order to make it easier for myself, just like the unitary logarithm of the EFT. So, I know who I am when I am free of it. Hold. Okay, a little bit mushier.
Bit mushier.
Mushier. So, even though I do not know who I am.
I do not know who I am.
Yeah, great, thank you. I'm going to support Jackie with this, borrow benefits even more, and help her out even faster. Even though I do not know who I am.
Even though I do not know who I am.
When I am free of it.
When I'm free of it.
I deeply and completely.
I deeply and completely.
Love and accept myself.
Love and accept myself.
Okay, now put your arm again. I know who I am when I am free of it. Hold. Oh, that's better, isn't it?
Yeah, completely, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the next is safety, deserving, and permission. So it is safe for me to be free of it. Hold. Okay.
Sorry.
Yep. You can shake it out if you get time. I deserve to be free of it. Hold.
Mushy.
Bit mushy. Even though I have conned myself.
I have conned myself.
Into thinking.
Into
believing. Ever so innocently. That I don't deserve.
To
be free of it.
I
deeply and completely.
Love
and accept all of me. And choose to know now. That I do deserve to be free of it. Okay. I deserve to be free of it. Hold. That's much nicer, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Okay. So, permission. I have permission to be free of it. Hold.
I think it was pretty solid.
Pretty solid, but let's do a quick...
Okay, yeah.
Even though I don't have permission to be free of it.
I don't have permission to be free of it.
I gotta be stuck with it.
I've got to be stuck with it.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I grant myself permission now.
And I grant myself permission now.
To let go of it.
To let go of it.
Okay.
That was a good call, actually. I could feel it.
I have permission to be free of it. Hold. Yeah, that's nice. Okay.
That's better.
Okay, then up again. Every part, layer, level, dimension, time of phase of me wishes to be free of it. Hold. Okay, it's pretty good. Nice congruence there, man. Okay.
Yeah, I think get rid of the permission bit and the guilt was good.
Okay, next. And then ancestors. When I am free of it, I still connect to my ancestors. Hold. I connect to my ancestors healthily when I'm free of it.
bit mushy.
Even though
Even though
I can't connect healthily to my ancestors.
I can't connect healthily to my ancestors.
When I am free of it.
When I am free of it.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
And I trust my deep well-being.
And I trust my deep well-being.
To generate ways to connect healthily to my ancestors.
To generate ways to connect healthily to my ancestors.
When I am free of it.
When I am free of it.
Take a deep breath in there. Yeah. Okay. I connect healthily to my ancestors when I am free of it. Hold. That's nice. That's nice. Felt much more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And I'm just going to test. I am now completely free of reversals, investments, blocks to releasing it. Hold. A little bit mushy. Okay?
Minor,
so
yeah.
we're going to do a generic one here because we're running out of time. Oh, I didn't. Let me test on this. Thank you.
Another information gatherer.
There are some parts of me relevant for releasing it, that are isolated from the system and don't have access to this healing. Hold.
That's it.
Yeah. Even though.
Even though.
Thank you very much, Anna. Even though some parts of me relevant for releasing it.
Relevant for releasing it.
Do not have access to this healing.
Do not have access to this healing.
I grant this access now.
I grant this access now.
Because I deeply and completely.
Because I deeply and completely.
Love and accept myself.
Love and accept myself. Feels better.
Cool. I am now 100% free of any blocks, investments, etc. to releasing it. Hold. Okay.
Yeah, that felt much
stronger.
Better.
Yeah. Okay. How much time do we have? Oh. Let's do a quick round on it then.
Okay.
Even though. Well, we don't need to do even though, no, because there's no psychological reversal. I've got it.
I've got it.
It. We'll just do a really simple round.
It.
Go away, it.
Go away, it.
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 Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, buddy.
See you, buddy.
I just tell people breathing is really good. To take a deep breath at the end of the rounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Sorry.
Okay. So, an hour ago, I had it.
An hour ago, I had it.
Hold. Now, I have it.
Now, I have it.
Hold.
So, thank you.
Whatever it was.
And thank you for your help. Thanks, Shoshana. Just something, can I just throw in? Somebody was taking photos. If anybody's taken photos of me up here, I know it sounds really vain, but I'm doing a new website. Would you mind emailing them me, just so that I can utilise them? Thanks ever so much, Shoshana. That was really good. I loved that. It free.
Okay. Are we allowed to take any question or comment, or we just really need to be strict and that's it, done? Well,
I'd like to ask, do you have to use the kinesiology? Can't you use your intuition and go through that?
Of course.
No, but do you only, every session, use kinesiology?
No. But this was a really easy demonstration purposes. You could see the difference at the end. The strongest no we got was at the end when it was gone.
So would you just go through all those with someone not using the kinesiology, just saying, just release them?
Sometimes. It's an art. I play.
Yeah.
There's no formula. If you want a formula, don't look to me.
No, well, I'm just trying to pick up techniques.
Yeah.
You know.
You can. I think when I first came to it, I did. Wanted to get used to the list and to get used to muscle testing and to get used to confirming my intuition. But sometimes I just go right to something, ooh, you've got a promise to yourself to keep that, or ooh, your identity is really invested in that. But you know, if you want to play with it, start with something. Here's a formula for you. Start with it and go through it, and use your intuition, testing, whatever, or just asking and exploring. Yeah.
I did know just before as you were doing it, I knew whether it was going to go up and down because my intuition's quite good. But if I'd been doing that for myself, I probably wouldn't have trusted it. So it's quite good to have somebody else doing something with you, because it's almost like I had that feeling, but I could pass it over to Shoshana and see if she confirmed it. So it's like it took my head out of it, my need to really know. So.
Okay, so I'm going to, before I exit off the stage, whatever you do with it, just keep on doing it, working on you. I'm still working on myself. And just remember, you're a gorgeous, beautiful, whole, intact diamond with more joy in you than you've ever even imagined. Bless you all, and thank you so much.